Have you ever felt like you are doing absolutely everything right? Listening to your intuition, taking the scary leaps, doing the inner work, taking strategic and inspired action, but the physical results just feel painfully slow. Like the reality of your current season isn't matching up with the big vision you have in your heart. If you're currently sitting in that uncomfortable waiting room, wondering if you misheard your own inner guidance, today's episode is exactly what you need to hear. In today's conversation, I'm pulling back the curtain on the messy middle of growth. I'm digging into how to navigate the frustration when your timeline doesn't match with the timeline of the universe, and what to do when you feel like you've followed the nudge only to face a reality check. The exact self-coaching breakthrough I had on a recent drive about why a lower number than I expected might actually be the most perfect aligned capacity for where I'm at right now, and the practical pivots we have to take in midlife when a strategy isn't converting, including why I'm stepping into LinkedIn and more in-person networking spaces. Next, whether you are trying to grow a soulful passion project, navigating a major life transition, or reinventing what your next chapter looks like, this is a reminder that slow growth is still growth. I'm sharing the raw, unpolished, behind the scenes truth of my own recent launch, the real conversations I've been having with my spirit guides, my higher self, and myself, and why a slow season is never a sign to give up. It is an invitation to pivot. Pop in your headphones, let's go for a walk, and let's talk about it. Welcome back to Modern Latina in Midlife. I'm your host, Sonia Flores, holistic life and business coach. So let's dive in. I'm going to go back to which I've shared on the podcast before, why I started my program, which is now called Start a Soulful Business group coaching program. It's a 90-day group coaching experience to help you start a business that is based on your true authenticity and what you're here to do in this lifetime that completely fulfills you on a soul level. I believe in this program like nothing else I've done before. This is exactly what I am here to do because I did it. I went through it. I know what it takes to start and build a business. I've been in business for 11 years and I've gone through all the struggles. I've done the homework. I've dug the digging and the failing and the success and the burnout and all the things to get to a place where I'm now running two businesses. I'm making multiple six figures, and it wasn't easy. This is the program I wished I had had when I was first starting. And I believe in it more than anything because I believe that I am here to empower women to build something of their own, to empower themselves by building something that they feel passionate about, that fulfills them at a soul level, that does allow them to serve with their own gifts, with their own skills, exactly as who you are today, and be able to make good money with it. And that's what I'm here to do. And I believe in this business. So I'll take you back to where this idea came from. It was in 2020. Out of nowhere, I had this idea of creating this 12-week or 90-day, whatever you want to call it, group coaching program to help women start a business. And at the time, yes, I thought it was going to be more like to help women start a virtual assistant business. And that, that was very specific. And that's what I was doing at the time, is running a virtual assistant business. And I started writing the outline and I was mid creation when I just shut my laptop. And I literally said to myself, who do you think you are, Sonia, to be doing this? Who do you think you are? What makes you think you're equipped to do this? And at the time, I hadn't even hit my first six figures yet. So I was like, who am I to be doing this? Well, who do you think you are? So imposter syndrome set in. My own limiting beliefs got in the way and I didn't look at it again. So fast forward to the fall of 2024. I once again received this nudge from my spirit guides to build this program again. Except that this time it was a little bit different. It felt more like starting a business, but not necessarily a virtual assistant business. It was more to start a soulful business, something that is, well, basically what the program is today. This is for the woman that wants to build something that is more aligned with her own purpose, with what you're here to do, aligned with your own gifts. It could be soulful, it could be tarot card reading, it could be wellness related, it could be a holistic nutrition, it could be running retreats, it could be, you name it, speaking on stages, helping women who have been victims of domestic violence, something that feels more soulful and meaningful and purposeful in life. Not to say that virtual assistant is not purposeful, because I did feel like I had a purpose in that. But once I really truly discovered what my true gifts are, I was able to expand more. So whatever that is for you in this moment in life, that's what it is. And it's perfectly exactly aligned and in divine timing for where you are right now. So I had that nudge again to build a business for that woman who wants to build a soulful business. And I had I'm going to say within the 2 weeks following that nudge, I had a reading scheduled with my spiritual mentor. I meet with her once a year to do a spirit guide reading. She's able to get readings from my spirit guides without my own bias and my own beliefs getting in the way. So I do this once a year, even though I communicate with my business guides on a regular basis. I do go to my own spiritual mentor and have her to tap in and get me the messages that I need to hear. And this is like a 90-minute session once a year. And she said to me, "You're supposed to be running a group coaching program." And I was like, "I can't even believe you're saying this, because this is exactly what I've been thinking about for the last 2 weeks." And she said, "Well, your business spirit guides are here to confirm that. You are here to help women build a business, get them launched in a short amount of time, teach them what you've been through." And that's exactly what the program was that I had in mind. So as soon as we finished that call, I started working on outlining what that program was going to look like. And so then shortly thereafter, within the next week or two, I went to a women in business event. And I saw a friend there who's also an intuitive guy. She's also very intuitive, but is a business coach, and she has a mastermind and the such. And we were talking, and she said, "Haven't you ever thought about doing a group coaching program? I feel you need to do that." I was like, "What? Okay." That's not just confirmation number 2 at this point. It's confirmation number 3. First was the nudge I had. Second was my spiritual mentor. Third is this intuitive friend who later became my business coach through her mastermind. I joined her mastermind. And then I was speaking with her, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I have to go," because I had scheduled this 15-minute reading with another friend that was at this event that was giving free complimentary readings. She's an astrologer. So she was giving readings based on a birth chart, and for our business, for my business specifically, that's what I wanted her to do. The reading was on my business specifically, because that's what the event was about. It was for women in business. And she said to me, "You are supposed to be doing group coaching." Basically the same thing. You're supposed to be doing group coaching for women. And she also went as far as to say, "You're actually going to be working with women who already have established businesses as well. Women who are more, that already have more visibility, So that could be something that's to come at a later date that I've actually been thinking about. But she just confirmed to me group coaching in business specifically, like group coaching to help women in their business is what you're here to do. And so at this point, there is no denying that this program wanted to be birthed through me, and it had chosen me as their mommy. And I was so excited, and I have not stopped being excited about this program ever since. So I built it. I started immediately. This is late fall of 2024, and I launched my first pilot program in spring 2025. And I had no idea who was going to join. I know who the potential ideal target market was, or who the ideal women was to join this program. I had a pretty good idea. And I just started marketing it and sharing about it. And so, I started sharing about it with my existing email list, and I started sharing about it on social media. So I did get help from my business coach, a business coach that I was already working with, who's also an astrology expert. And I considered her my business coach. We worked together. We helped each other out. And she's my astrologer and human design expert. And she reviewed my offer. She already knew, she knows my astrology. She knows my human design. So based on those combined, she reviewed my offer, who the ideal client is for the offer. And she reviewed all the models and gave me the green light. She gave me feedback. I made some changes and gave me the green light. She said, yes, it looks amazing. It's great. I wrote my sales page, my website copy for this program. Again, she reviewed it and she gave me suggestions, and we made changes, and we made sure that this sales page is speaking to my ideal client from the lens of who I am here to attract, who is attracted to me based on my astrology birth chart and my human design. And I decided that without any experience here, I'm going to call in 10 clients. That was my intention. So I decided to do a conversion event, so a free workshop or masterclass that was intended to convert people, to bring people into the program. I think it was called something like, how to find your calling. Oh, find your calling. That's what it was called. Find your calling. And I took them through a couple of the modules, a couple of the lessons in one of the modules in the program itself. And so I thought this would be a good conversion event, and that did not convert. I also had the opportunity to present that workshop in somebody else's community. So I had a community of women who were not already in my ecosystem, in my email list, or following me on social media. So I had the opportunity to present to them this workshop, the same workshop that I gave out on my own, right, to my own people. And even though there appeared to be interested people, again, I got no sales from that. In the end, what ended up happening is that I really wanted to run this program, and I was coming up to the end of the promotional period, and I had nobody signed up yet. Now, I did have an assistant that was working with me at the time, and she had at one point told me that the program sounded really interesting. I had her help me with something specifically for this program, and she had said that it sounded interesting, and I just felt something about her that felt that she was attracted to this program. So I brought it up to her and I said, hey, would you be interested in taking the program? And she did. And I gave her a steep discount because I really wanted to get people in the program to run as a pilot and get some feedback. So she agreed. And so she entered the program, and then I invited somebody else to participate in the program as well, complimentary, because I wanted there to be a group, and one person alone was not going to be the group. So at least I had two people in the program. So I ran the pilot program, and it was really good. It actually was perfect because I didn't have all the teachings, all the modules created. I don't think I even had most of them written out yet. So while I did record a couple before the program actually launched, I didn't have the majority of it recorded, and I think even half of it was not written yet. So having two people waiting on these modules, knowing that every Monday I needed to drop a new module, kept me on my feet to actually get these lessons written and recorded. And I made it happen. And it happened. And it was so beautiful. It was perfect. And these two women were such a perfect match for each other. And they were similar ages. And so it was so beautifully, it just came together so beautifully. So I had two participants in this pilot program. And so at this point, my entire program is created. It is out in the world. It is done. And so I decide, okay, great. That was spring 2025. So fall 2025, I decided I'm going to do this program again. And this time I really took the time because I didn't have to create the content anymore. The program was all fully created completely. I decided to really focus on creating some really strong emails. And so I spent a lot of time writing a ton of email. And what's crazy is that I decided to start the program in October, which meant that I needed to start promoting and basically launch Open Cart in September. Well, I was also leaving to Spain for 2 weeks that September. So I knew I had to get these emails written before then, and not just written, but scheduled. So I did that, and I spent a lot of time writing these emails, and they just felt so good. They were so good in my opinion. And I got them all squared away and written and scheduled before I left. Now, sometime during this time period, I had, as I do occasionally, a few times a year, I had scheduled I guess you can call it a psychic reading with a trusted source. And I only do these things with people that I know and trust and that have been recommended to me or that I know through networking or even that I've met in person. I'm very, very picky about the people that I let do readings on me, and more so that I believe them, that I trust that they're legit. This woman came really highly recommended, and she has a really long wait list. And so what this woman does is she has this ability to look into your future. So like, let's say I wanted to do a reading for 5 years from last fall. So that would have been 2030 or 2030. So she did this reading, and without knowing me, I gave her no information. I just scheduled this reading, and she tapped in and basically told me exactly what county I was living in, which I can confirm at this point is where I'm living now. I wasn't living there at the time, but I am living in that county now. It just hit me. Holy moly. Okay. And she had other things to add, but one of the very first things she mentioned, aside from where I live, is that she said you're still working with soulpreneurs. And that is exactly what I call the women in business that I work with, is soulpreneurs. She said you're still working with soulpreneurs 5 years from now. And this program is actually quite successful. She said it's quite successful. It's full. There's a wait list. It's very, very successful. You're getting a lot of women through this program, and it is really, really good. And so I said, okay, that's amazing. So what do I need to do for it to be that successful? Like what does that version of me need me to know today about the program? And she said, oh, well, while the program is great, right now the problem is getting people in the program because it's in your marketing. The problem is the marketing, but the program is perfect. So the problem is in the marketing. And I tried to get more specific answers and I couldn't, but she said it's in the marketing. I thought, okay. Anyhow, so I wrote these amazing emails thinking, okay, I'm going to tap in, get the help of my business spirit guides. Let's write these emails. And I still think those emails are great. When I read through those emails, those promotional emails, I feel I feel an emotional move. Like I feel they're really good. And so I got all those scheduled and sent them out for my launch in fall of 2025. Now, I had joined a mastermind in the spring of 2025, right when I was already running the spring 2025 program, the pilot program. Basically, I joined a mastermind. And at the suggestion of the business coach that was running the mastermind, I did another conversion event. But this one was more esoteric. It was more clearing energy. It was more bringing in people on a more soulful, more esoteric level, right? Because she said, well, if this is the kind of client that you are attracting, like someone who wants to start a soulful business, like get them in with like a energy healing meditation event. And so I did that. And I actually got a lot of people to sign up. It's interesting. A lot of people signed up. I want to say probably like 18 people signed up, which is pretty good, I thought. But then maybe 3 people showed up in person. And then, of course, I sent out the recording. And so I did get more people to watch it. I can see that more people watched the recording, but it did not convert. And honestly, I'm not surprised because I don't know. I kind of felt like it was a stretch. Like if these people were coming in to get an energy clearing to release the heaviness of what was happening in the political climate, like how does that convert to starting a soulful business? But anyhow, I'm willing to try anything and everything. So that got no conversions. Now, then my spiritual mentor, who was the one that told me that my spirit guides were telling me I needed to create this group coaching program. She has had a podcast at the time, and she was asking for guests to come on the podcast, especially if we had worked with her and had taken action on what she had given us in the reading. And I volunteered. I said, I'd love to be on your podcast because I have taken action on all the things that she has given me in her readings. And it's everything's worked so far. So I did that. I went and I got on her podcast. And as a result of that, I did get 2 signups from her community. So that was perfect. And it's interesting because one of them said she'd actually seen it last spring and it sounded interesting, but she was like, oh, is that for me? She's like, oh, I don't know. That's not for me. Anyhow, so this time around, she said she really connected to the message on that podcast episode. So she joined. And then there was somebody else in the community also that said, I'm ready. She's in retirement. She's 59 years old. And she's like, I'm ready to do something that I love in my retirement. So she joined the program too. And I'm telling you, these 2 couldn't have been more perfect for each other. So again, I end up with 2 signups for my group coaching program. And these women were so on point and so perfect for each other. They both launched their programs. The one ended up doing retreats on her ranch, and she invited myself and the other gal that was in the program with her and the rest of the women in the community that were in my mentors group. Anyway, it was just beautiful. It couldn't have been more perfect. It was just absolutely amazing. And I just loved every minute of it. It was so perfect. The other thing that I did for that particular launch, or it could have been, I did it for that launch, I believe. I created a lead magnet to funnel people into the program, to start getting people into my email list that were more aligned with the program. And so it was like a 5-step roadmap to starting a soulful business. And it's a guide. It's a guide that they could download that has practical steps to take that don't require building a website, that don't require having an audience, that it's like simple things to get you up and running super quickly. And I put this roadmap together, and I even I recorded it on video so that I can share it with my voice, with the frequency of my voice, which was what is recommended from my human design mentor based on my throat chakra and the channels that are highlighted and not highlighted on my chart. And the way in which people are attracted to me is through the frequency of my voice. So I created this guide, but then I also recorded myself reading it off so that you don't have to read it. You can listen to it. So I created this freebie basically that is currently on my website at bluechakrastudio.com if you want to take a look at that, to bring in people into my email list that would actually be more aligned with the program itself. And that list actually has 19 confirmed email addresses, 19 people that have come into the program. Now, I get it. That's not astronomical. And in the eyes of, successful coaches out there, of like 19, like what kind of an email list? Well, those are 19 people that were not on my list a year ago, and that could potentially join the program in the future. I don't know. Who knows, right? So maybe they saw it and were attracted to what it had to say, but they don't know me well enough. So they're getting to know me to build up trust. I don't know. I'm going with the nudges, the process that I'm implementing the intuitive and I'm implementing the strategic. So I created that lead magnet in order to help me bring people in. So those are the efforts that I did for the fall of 2025, the cohort. And then I decide, okay, that goes really well. The women finish the program, they launch their businesses, they're doing amazing work in the world. And I'm like, okay, here we go again. Now I'm going to run this program again in the spring of 2026. And I'm calling in 10 people again. That's the intention. I'm calling in 10 people. 6 would be amazing because that would be more than 2. But 10 is the ideal number. I am calling in. I started working on my mindset. I started working on building up my belief that I could call in 10 clients into this program. I don't need to build up my belief in the program. I know the program is amazing. I know that this is what women want and need and are looking for. I just have not reached those women or all of those women or more of those women yet. So I started working on my belief to call in those women. And I used the same amazing emails that I had created the last summer for the fall program. I pulled them out, I read through them, and I thought, my gosh, these are amazing. They're really good. I know they didn't convert last time, but man, they're really good. So I hired a business coach. I joined a business. I hired a business coach, and I worked with a couple of business coaches that have been trained with her and that coach with her. And so I had them review my sales page, and I was told it was amazing. They had 2 little tweaks, which I made, and which is interesting because one of those tweaks was something that my other business coach had told me before, and I didn't do it. And so this time I thought, okay, fine, I'm going to do it. And I had another business coach review all the emails that I had written. And also she said, these are amazing. They're really good. I said, okay, great. So we're going out again. We're going out with a bang. I'm calling in 10 clients. So I get all those emails out there. I get them scheduled again. I made some tweaks here and there, of course. May have added more. I may have deleted some. But generally, those were really good. And I went with them. And I coached myself around that belief to bring in the 10 clients. I coached myself so hard. I coached with my business coach, and then I coached with my business coach, and there were 2 things that came out of the coaching. Again, she said, it's got to be in the marketing, right? In my belief system, of course, what am I believing? What am I feeding my brain? So that's one part of the coaching. But the other part of the coaching was the marketing. So I'm like, okay, great. We're getting closer to what that other reading, what the other woman in the reading told me that it was in the marketing. So she said, what we came out with from those coaching sessions was one, that I needed to show up more on social media to share and to give value and to talk about the program using some of the same content from those emails that I had written, because not everybody's going to read my emails or see my emails, or people are not on my emails, but I have not a ton, but somewhere between 1 to 2,000 followers on social media in all my accounts together. So I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to show up on social media more and share more, basically like talking head reels, to give value, to provide more information, to show up, to have people hear my voice and trust me, start to know and trust me so that they can sign up. And the second one was that I needed to network more in person, find more people in person, tell them about the program, offer them to come and join the program, to take a look at it, and that this is how I'm going to build up the program, right? That was going to be the focus of the things that I was going to do different for the spring 2026 launch. I did not do a conversion event because of past conversion events did not convert, and I frankly did not really enjoy them. So I decided not to do those, and I decided instead to show up more on social media and to network in person. That's what I decided to do. Then, like I said, I did no conversion event. I recorded a podcast interview with one of my my astrology and human design expert, who also does a one-on-one reading in my soul in the start a Soulful Business group coaching program. So she came on and we did a interview together to talk about how effective doing a birth chart reading and human design reading helps people determine who they're here to serve, what they're here to do, what their purpose in this lifetime is, who their ideal clients are. And so we went through that. We recorded a podcast episode, and we thought, okay, this might help. And got no signups from that, although I did hear that it was a really good episode. We did not get any signups from that. What I did get was one immediate signup that as soon as I started dripping and started sharing on social media, oh my gosh, guys, the launch of my new cohort is coming. I can't wait to share this with you. The minute I started sharing that, I had somebody immediately on Instagram say, be sure to tell me when it launches because I need to be in this program. She had intended to join a year ago and didn't. Things got in the way, life got in the way, imposter syndrome got in the way, and she didn't do it. And so what has transpired in the last year, she was like, okay, I need to be in this program. When are you launching? I mean, we were in touch back in February. She's like, when are you launching? It was still a few months out. I said, for sure you will know. So as soon as I opened up a cart, she signed up immediately. So I got one immediate sign up, which was an amazing feeling. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, great. Interest is building up. And I got a second sign up from an existing one-on-one coaching client, a person who I was coaching one-on-one, and had learned about the program, and we were working through some of the things that are happening at work and how she's basically in this perfect stage of midlife where she knows she's realized who she is and what she has to offer, and maybe the corporate world is no longer for her. And so she joined as well. And so what did I do? So basically ended up with 2 signups again in this program, which is amazing. And these 2 clients, again, couldn't be more perfect for each other to be in this program together. They are similar ages. They're in the similar paths where they each have a career in a corporate type environment that is no longer fulfilling them, that is no longer checking the boxes of it doesn't feel like purposeful work. And they're both intending, well, one of them is intending to build a business that a parenting coaching business that she can just run full time, and that's her salary. And the other one is potentially exploring still what her options are. And she does not even sure what she wants to build, but she knows that she wants to build a passion project, something that she can start building. And that could potentially be something that she runs full time when she retires, or who knows? She's still exploring, but she knows that her work is no longer fulfilling her. And these two women cannot be more perfect for each other. They live fairly close to each other too, which is amazing. So those are the people who showed up for my program, which is absolutely amazing. And I am so grateful. I rather have two amazing, ideal, perfect clients than to have 10 people enroll that aren't going to take it seriously or who aren't ready for it, who are not perfect, basically, for the program. And so it's amazing. I'm having a lot of fun. It is my purpose work. And I didn't enroll the 10 or the 6 that I was calling in. And so it feels a little frustrating because I'm here trying to build this program. My spirit guides told me to build this program. I put in a lot of time and effort, and I'm still only getting two people sign up. So I'm like, why is this happening? If my spirit guides told me to build this, then where are the clients? Why aren't there more clients like knocking at the door, waiting for the next program to open? Where are they? Why do I only get 2 signups each time? What am I doing wrong? You told me to build this. Build it and they will come. So I built it. Now send me the clients. And then I get to the point where I'm like, fine. There's clearly something for me to learn here. Everything is perfectly orchestrated. There is no doubt. There is no mistake. So fine. I'm trusting the process. And here's what's interesting. What's like feels more frustrating is that my business guides were like knocking me across the head with this message. First, I got the message, start the group coaching program. Then my spiritual mentor told me, then my intuitive friend told me, then the astrologer told me. Everybody's been dropping hints. Like my business guides were relentless. Build the damn thing, girl. And I did. And once I started building it, they stopped giving me that message. It's like, okay, I'm building it. Yeah, that's what we wanted to do. And man, they were like in a hurry. They were like, do it now. They were relentless. Once I started building it, then, they shut up, basically. So then I'm like, okay, here I am. Here's the program. Done. Finito. It's out there. It's birthed. I birthed it. It took me months, probably 9 months. That's interesting to remember. December, January, February, March, April, May. Oh, maybe not as much, but it did take me that long to like get it from beginning to end and write the teachings and record the teachings and the such. And so here I am. Okay, I'm trusting the process. So I'm doing a lot of self-coaching around this because there's a bit of confusion and there's a bit of frustration. Like, where's the 10 clients? Where's the 10 clients? And so I self-coach. And so I was self-coaching myself on this very topic on Friday, just 2 days ago. The time of this recording is Sunday, day before Memorial Day. This episode will come out on Memorial Day. And I was self-coaching and going through all the things and really asking myself, why is having 2 perfectly aligned clients in this cohort actually exceptionally perfect? And so I started going through all those reasons, all the reasons that I could come up with that this was actually perfect, exceptionally perfect. And when I self-coach, I speak out loud. And I start giving all the reasons why, And then I had a thought that I hadn't had before. one of those thoughts as I was speaking, I always envision myself speaking to my spirit guides and to my higher self. And I said out loud, 2 is actually the ideal number of ideal students for me to have in this program right now. I'm learning and building up from here. I'm becoming stronger and learning more with each launch and learning more. I just feel like each time the 2 students come in, I feel like they're more perfect and they're more perfect and they're more perfect for the program. These 2, exceptionally perfect. The last 2, exceptionally perfect. And as I'm saying this out loud, I'm realizing actually that the last 4 have a lot in common in the sense that they are over 50. Oh my gosh, this is a realization that I'm having in real time. They are over 50, and 3 of them are working in a job that is not incredibly fulfilling. 2 of these have actually been in their existing careers for 26 years before they hit that burnout stage. So how perfect is that? And they are at a point where they want to do something that feels fulfilling and purposeful. Instead of going out to continue getting more certifications, taking more programs, learning more, reading more, it's time to actually put it into action. And that is what these 4 women have in common, which gives me a lot of intel as I'm speaking this out loud as to who I need to be speaking to. So I came with that realization, and then that's when I said, okay, 2 is actually the perfect number. Like, where did I go thinking that I was supposed to be calling in 10 clients, 10 students? Well, who said that? Nobody said that. That's literally a number that I pulled out of thin air. And that actually a business mentor told me, let's go for 10. Let's call in 10. I said, yeah, that sounds amazing. But that's not what my spirit guides told me. I literally just came up with this number. And this business mentor kind of validated that, right? Like, I found validation outside of me. She said, yes, let's call in 10. I said, yes, that sounds amazing. That's what I was thinking. So 2 might actually, no, 2 is actually the perfect, exceptionally perfect number of students, clients I need to have in this program right now. Like, how amazing is that? To have that realization and to just have this in real time realization of these 4 clients that literally fit the same demographic and the same set of problems that they're experiencing. Like, this is truly amazing. And what I'm going to be doing when I hang up, when I'm done recording, is start to write that ideal client list of who this woman is and the things that they're experiencing. And this is how we build up the content, like, strategically speaking, this is how we build up our content and write our sales pages and our emails. And who we speak to is by basically taking the stories of our existing clients and the struggles and the challenges that they're experiencing and how this program alleviates that, because it does. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. As I'm speaking it out loud in real time, I'm like giving you my thought process. Okay. Another self-coaching model that I follow is I always ask myself what went well with the launch, what did not go well, and what am I going to do differently? So what went well with the launch? Well, I got 2 signups. So proof of concept is there, and I have that history already. I know without a doubt 2 are coming, period, without a doubt. 2 perfect students are coming into this program every time, minimum. I sent out emails that were amazing. I had business coach look through all my emails. I had a business coach look through my sales page. I've gotten several business coaches at this point to look through the emails and the sales pages. And those are amazing. Those are perfect. I showed up on social media more, on Instagram and Facebook. I showed up, did talking heads, shared value, shared information. I even had a couple of people reach out to me and say, your videos are amazing. You are showing up in ways I've never seen you show up. Your visibility is amazing. I've had people reach out to me and tell me that. So, okay, another conference. I just literally realized that as I'm saying it out loud. I'm like self-coaching in real time. And so I know that's working. So that worked. That was good. I worked on my belief. I hired a coach and I worked on my belief system and why I believe this program is perfect and amazing. I've worked on my mindset, on my belief so hard on this launch. I got coached. I hired coaches. I joined a coaching membership. So I'm working on myself. I'm doing the work. I'm working on mindset and I'm working on my actual marketing strategic tactics. Okay. And what did not go well with this launch? I could have shown up even more regularly, but I was also working with a client who was, and we were mid-launch in her program. So that pulled on my energy a little bit because launch is a lot. It's well, you know what? I'm going to rephrase that. A launch used to feel like a lot. So I allowed myself to believe that a launch was a lot and that it was taking a lot out of me. I allowed my mind to believe that. And so while I was working on my client's launch, I wasn't so focused on mine or I allowed myself to take the focus off of mine. So that happened. I could have showed up more and more regularly on Instagram and Facebook. I also have had this thought that LinkedIn might be a good place also to promote this as well. And I did not try that. I also didn't know. I know it's a different audience. I mean, the same woman might be listening to me on Instagram, might be listening to me on LinkedIn, but it's a different message, right? It's a different way of presenting the message. I didn't really know how to do that or what kind of stuff is working on LinkedIn, but guess what I do know now? I know now what is working on LinkedIn. And I knew that because of work that I did with another client in her business. And so as we're doing this in her business, I'm like, oh, this is what's working on LinkedIn. So that could go in the what did work for the launch. I learned something new. So next launch, I will incorporate LinkedIn. I also did not show up to network in person. I did not tell people, everybody I ran into, that I had this program and invited them to check it out. I did not do that. So that is something that I will do for the next launch. However, I don't know if there will be a launch in fall of 2026 or if I'm going to wait until 2027 to do another one. I'm leaning towards 2027, probably spring 2027. And if that's the case, I need to start networking in person now to start bringing people into my ecosystem, to start getting my name known, start meeting more people, start telling more people about it. So I will do that differently moving forward. Oh, I just jumped into what I will do differently. I was in the what didn't work. So what didn't work is that I did not show up in person. What I will do differently is show up more on social media, including LinkedIn. I will network in person, like I said, which needs to start now, even if it's to get more one-on-one life coaching clients, because the one-on-one coaching clients that come to me are women in midlife. And it is proven that astrologically that women in midlife are looking for more purpose in their life. That is something that's been astrologically says that. And also, it's a belief that Carl Jung always said, is the first half is to build yourself up and the second half is to do your purpose work. The first half and second half of your life. So I know that the women that come to me are women in midlife. So even if it is to bring women into one-on-one coaching, because now I know that those can and do convert into the soulful business. program. I will also do differently that I will do more podcast guest appearances. I know that's worked in the past, so I can do that again. And this number 4 is trust the process. Trust the process. Nobody, and by nobody, I mean my spirit guides and my higher self or the universe, they did not tell me I need to be calling in 10 people. That was something I decided to do that I pulled out of thin air. But I know when I was self-coaching on that drive and I told myself 2 is actually exceptionally perfect. And I felt that jolt of energy through my body, and I knew that was true. It was a beautiful jolt of just ripple through my body. And I said, this is true. And that's when I said, I need to share. I need to share this on the podcast. Trust the process. So I will start showing up to live networking events and community groups. So if you know of any live events, women's networking groups, women's groups in the Riverside, California area, in the Inland Empire area, in the Southern California area, I mean, I'd like them closer to me in the Riverside area. If you know of any groups, please DM me at Modern Latina in Midlife or email me at sonia@soniasdesk.com because I will need to know about these groups. I want to meet more people. And listen, not just to get people in my program. I've been wanting to network more and collaborate more to build community, which is why I do my co-working circles. If you've been listening to the podcast or following me on social media, you'll know that I do co-working circles for women in business because it's so lonely to work, to be a soulpreneur, to be an entrepreneur. It's a lonely journey. And so I've been working on building up my co-working circles. So it's not just to bring people into my program. It really is to create more network. And you know what? Yeah. You know what? I am going to own it. To bring more women into the program because this program is amazing and it's here to empower women to build something of their own, to take ownership of themselves, to build a life that they truly love, that is fulfilling their purpose, that is purposeful, that serves others with their own gifts and their own skills. Yeah, I am owning that. We need to get the word out about our programs because our clients are out there looking for what we have to offer. And that is exactly what this program teaches women to do. So yes, it is to get more women in this program, but it's also to build community because I really, really am creating community with other women entrepreneurs who are building something meaningful. So if you know where those women's groups are, please let me know. And also, if you have a podcast or if you know somebody who has a podcast and is looking for guests to talk about this passion that I have of empowering women to find their calling and build something of their own, please let me know. I would love to be a guest on those podcasts. So just because things have not quite worked out exactly as I thought they should, I don't need to be frustrated. And I most certainly don't need to give up. It really is a sign for me to keep pivoting until I find that sweet spot, until I find what works in perfect alignment. And I know that because I've been in business for 10 years. I used to run a VA business, and it was a struggle to find clients until I found my sweet spot, until I found those it was 3 things that worked beautiful for me to bring in clients into that business and into my podcast production business. So I did it. I figured it out. And then, man, I was being referred left and right. So you know what? I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep moving forward, open-hearted, knowing that the right solution, that I'm going to find that right solution, that I'm going to find that sweet spot where these women are sitting and looking for me. I'm going to go find them. We're going to find each other. We're going to magnetize each other. And for right this very minute, 2 clients are exceptionally perfect. Before I let you go today, I want you to take a deep breath with me, because I need it too. And remember this, that just because things have not worked out exactly as you thought they should by now, it is not a sign to give up. It is simply a sign to keep pivoting until you find your sweet spot. Your timeline is your own, and those spirit-led nudges, that feeling that you feel, that message, they're not misguiding you. They're not misguiding me. They're preparing us for what's next. I mean, how beautiful is that? Do you feel that? Because I literally feel that energy right now in my heart. I'm feeling my heart expand, which is telling me that I've hit a truth. So if this episode resonated with you, or if you are currently sitting in your own season of slow growth and just need to know that you aren't alone, please come over to Instagram and send me a DM at Modern Latina in Midlife. I want to hear what your two perfect clients or your slow growth breakthrough looks like this week. You can also find all the resources that I've mentioned, my email, and more information about Start a Soulful Business program over at bluechakrastudio.com. And all the links are in the show notes. And you can also sign up to be notified of each new podcast episode by joining my email list. I also wanted to let you know that I opened up 2 spots this summer for one-on-one coaching clients. So whether you're going through your own midlife transition, maybe you are potentially becoming an empty nester soon because kids are graduating from college or high school or college and potentially fleeing the coop. Maybe you're going through that transition. Or maybe you want to get more aligned with your business goals for the remainder of 2026. So let's explore how we can get you from where you are to where you want to be. Schedule a complimentary consultation at bluechakrastudio.com/consultation. If you love this conversation, please take a quick moment to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other midlife women and midlife Latinas, soulpreneurs, and aspiring soulpreneurs to find this community so we can all grow together. Trust the process, keep showing up, and I will talk to you next week. Hasta la próxima, amiga.